Welcome to the Diamond K Show, the home for real talk, real news, and real perspective. I am your host, Diamond K, broadcasting from On Fire Broadcasting Studios here in Baltimore, Maryland. You can catch me on the Diamond K Show live Monday through Fridays at 6 p.m. onfirebroadcasting.com, youtube.com/DJ Diamond K, or wherever you get your podcasts. Now, you can turn your weekends up too with the On Fire Mix Show, dropping Saturdays at 6 p.m. with the hottest club and hip hop mixes. Also, the best of the Diamond K Show airs on Sundays at 6 p.m. and that recaps all of the top stories for the week. So let's get into today's headline. A lot of stuff to unpack. The government shutdown has entered into the fourth week. They have now rolled into week number 4. The country is starting to feel the weight of this political gridlock. It is frustrating for many folks. Over 40 million Americans could lose SNAP benefits if Congress does not act soon. That's not a statistic. That's families in grocery store lines trying to stretch a few dollars further while Washington argues about who's winning the blame game. This is affecting real families. Now, it's not only affecting families, it's going to affect businesses as well, because folks, the 40 million Americans that could potentially lose their SNAP benefits, they spend the money. They spend those benefits in grocery stores. So the grocery store, the outlets, the supermarkets, the Walmarts, any of these places count on this benefit being spent in the location. So this has multiple rippling effects with regards to the economy. So let's talk about the breakdown. This whole shutdown fiasco began over disagreements about funding levels tied to border policy and debt limits. Neither side wants to blink, and now workers are going without paychecks. Federal contractors have been laid off. National parks are closed, and major agencies from USDA to HUD are running skeleton crews. Here in Baltimore, we're feeling it as well. Thousands of residents here depend on federal paychecks and benefits. Local food pantries report record demand, and small businesses near federal businesses are struggling without their regular weekday crowds. When the federal government sneezes, Baltimore catches a cold. This isn't just a budget fight. It's an indictment of political dysfunction. What do we send these men and women to Washington for? We send them there to negotiate, to compromise, to work out things with people sometimes that you don't agree with. But what's happening now is political dysfunction. Families don't care about the talking points. They care about paying the rent, feeding their kids, and keeping the lights on. Both parties know this has gone too far, yet compromise still feels out of reach. Economists warn that if the shutdown extends into next month, consumer confidence will dip and regional economies will lose billions of dollars. Federal workers will eventually get back pay, but lost business revenue and missed child care support, that can't be replaced. We've been here before, 2013, 2018, 2019, and each shutdown gets worse than the last. It's time that Washington remembered that governing isn't about winning arguments. It's about keeping the country running. Let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show. Of course, on YouTube, I am DJ Diamond K. Need to get in touch with me, djdiamondk@gmail.com. And of course, visit onfirebroadcasting.com. Baltimore, it's that time again. The West Baltimore reunion and the Sagittarius season birthday bash for the one and only DJ Terry T is happening at the Patapsco Arena. And that is located at 3301 Annapolis Road. The hottest DJs in the city, the livest crowd, and the official West Baltimore reunion. The vibes are going to be everything. And this is going down, on Friday, November the 28th at the Patapsco Arena. So get those tickets on Eventbrite or at Three Chefs, Hair by Kali, Silver Star Restaurant, or M&K Music at Security Mall. You can also visit onfirebroadcasting.com/events. It is the West Baltimore reunion and the Sagittarius season birthday bash for the one and only DJ Terry T. Doors open at 9 p.m. and it is going down until 2 a.m. Do not miss Terry T's birthday celebration at Patapsco Arena. So Hurricane Melissa is hammering the Caribbean tonight with fierce winds and driving rain across Jamaica. The storm system intensified quickly, catching many by surprise. Roads are flooded, power outages are widespread, and emergency crews are working nonstop. Meteorologists say that Melissa will weaken as it moves north, but Jamaica could still face up to 10 inches of rainfall before it clears. Relief agencies are preparing for recovery efforts that could last several weeks. For those of us in the Baltimore region and the DMV, the storm remnants are projected to bring rain and gusty winds later this week. We might dodge the worst, but coastal areas could see minor flooding. Every major storm now seems stronger than the last one. Warmer ocean temperatures are fueling more powerful hurricanes, and that's a climate conversation that we can't ignore. Yeah, here in Baltimore, we've seen how heavy rain overwhelms the drainage systems and affects neighborhoods already dealing with infrastructure problems. So while Jamaica braces for impact, we should also pay attention here. These storms are part of a larger pattern. And what happens in the Caribbean, it doesn't just stay there. It travels north, affecting trade, travel, and communities like ours that are always just one strong storm away from trouble. So we are definitely sending our thoughts and prayers to folks in Jamaica. It's the getaway that you've been waiting for. Join the Soul Nation Winter Getaway February the 20th through the 22nd, and that is in 2026 at the Hilton Hotel in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Performing live, Drew Hill, 702 and Montel Jordan. That's 3 days, 2 nights of nonstop R&B vibes, luxury hotel stay, and round-trip bus transportation, all starting at just $479 per person. Lock in your spot today with only $50 down. Visit soulnationevents.com. Use the trip code DWA0000073 or call 443-604-9153. The Soul Nation Winter Getaway 2026, where good people meet great times. The Soul Nation Winter Getaway 2026 goes down February 20th through the 22nd at the Hilton Hotel in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Make sure you join us. For more information, visit soulnationevents.com. Remember, the trip code is DWA4073 or call 443-604-9153. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most electrifying political rallies of the year. New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani he's bringing out the big dogs, right? The big progressive folks. And Bernie Sanders and AOC came out for a massive show of progressive power. Over the weekend, Mamdani packed Queens with an estimated 13,000 supporters for an event called New York is Not for Sale. It wasn't your typical campaign stop. It felt like a movement. Bernie Sanders told the crowd that Zohran Mamdani is exactly the kind of leader that this city and country needs. AOC called him the next generation of leadership that refuses to settle for incremental change. They want massive change. The crowd was loud, it was diverse, and it was fully engaged. Platform goes straight to the heart of working class frustration. A citywide rent freeze, universal child care, 10,000 new teachers, and affordable housing built for residents, not investors. He said this, and I quote, "We are all done being told that New York is only for the rich. Our city belongs to the people who make it run." Critics argue that his plans would break the city's budgets. Supporters counter that if New York can give tax breaks to billionaires, it can invest in the people. Recent polls have Mamdani leading power, just young voters. He's energized them in Queens, in Brooklyn, in the Bronx. If he wins, he would probably be the most progressive mayor in modern New York history. And that would shake up the Democratic political scene nationwide. A lot of folks are wondering why the focus has been on Zohran Mamdani's platform and his campaign. And the reason is that it's so innovative and progressive. Some folks say that he's too progressive. What do you think? Do you think that this platform is exactly what New York needs, or is it too much too soon? Hit me up at the Diamond K Show. Let's talk about this. I am fascinated with Zohran and some of the campaigning that he did in the summertime and in the springtime. It really was innovative, and he's really been able to connect with voters. Democrats, as I've talked about for years, have just been in a rut doing the same old, and that's not resonating anymore. So when you have that, then that leaves the stage open for somebody like Mamdani to come through and shake things up. And shake things up is what he has done. But definitely let me know your thoughts. Election is coming up at the Diamond K Show. We're going to be doing election coverage on Tuesday. So advertise your brand right here on the Diamond K Show. We reach thousands every week across YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, of course, onfirebroadcasting.com. Now you can promote your business, event, or campaign with on-air mentions, sponsored interviews, and social media placement. Email me, djdiamondk@gmail.com to get started. Let's get your message heard on the Diamond K Show, where truth meets conversations that matter. This Halloween, treat yourself to a grown-up trick-or-treat with bartending butterflies boozy bucket. The boozy bucket. All right. Each bucket is $30 and packed with fun. A mini rum cake, a 16-ounce apple cider sangria, a Halloween snack mix, and plenty of candies to keep your spooky spirit high. Supplies are limited, so don't miss out on the sweetest, booziest treat of the season. Call or text 410-961-9936 to order your Halloween boozy bucket today. The U.S. and China are inching toward a new trade understanding, but truce might be too strong of a word. Sources say that negotiators are discussing partial tariff rollbacks and tech sector cooperation, yet issues like data security and currency manipulation remain on the table. This relationship defines global economics. When the two biggest economies fight, everyone feels it, from Wall Street to Baltimore's port. Fewer imports mean fewer containers moving through our docks, fewer hours for truckers, and slower businesses for warehouses. The White House hopes easing tariffs will cool prices and calm markets before next year's election cycle. Now, trade experts warn that both nations are jockeying for tech dominance, especially in AI and semiconductors. In the long run, the question isn't who wins the next round of talks. It's who sets the rules for the next generation of technology and trade. If they can agree on fairness and enforcement, it could stabilize the global supply chain. If not, we can expect another wave of uncertainty. This Halloween night, the party comes alive. Join the Parhams for the ultimate Halloween party Friday, October the 31st at the Cellar. That is 1071 Maiden Choice Lane. The vibes start at 9 p.m. and don't stop until 1 a.m. Hear music by DJ Cornbread spinning the hottest tracks all night long. So bring your costumes. There's going to be drinks. There's going to be fun. There's going to be madness. Tickets are just $30. Get yours now before they vanish. Visit eventbrite.com and search the Parhams Halloween Party. Don't miss the fright of your life. President Donald Trump is once again stirring headlines. He bragged about a perfect MRI at Walter Reed Medical Center. We've heard him do this before. And then he took it further, challenging Representatives Jasmine Crockett and AOC to take one too, saying, let's see how perfect theirs is. Sadly, Trump's dementia seems to be showing its ugly head, right? Something's going on here. He's confusing his dementia test with an IQ test, right? He thinks that he's taking an IQ test, and if Biden was doing half of the stuff that Trump is doing, folks will be calling for the 25th Amendment. It's classic Trump, part showmanship, part, provoking, some type of reaction, or provoking rather, some type of reaction. But what really set social media on fire is that he said next he's refusing to rule out seeking a third term, claiming that supporters keep asking him to stay longer. Okay, I have news for you all. There's this little thing called the Constitution, and that prevents a third term. He's not eligible for a third term. I don't care how he tries to come up with loopholes. There is no loophole. He is not eligible. He's not eligible to be president. He's not eligible to be vice president. He's not eligible. Okay. And it is that simple. So the Constitution makes this third term that he's floating around impossible. 2 terms. That's it. Still, the remark reignited debate over whether his rhetoric undermines democratic norms or simply entertains his base. And we're talking about something even deeper than norms. The Constitution prevents this from happening. Republicans are largely brushing it off. Democrats are calling it dangerous. Either way, Donald Trump continues to dominate the news cycle because of his wildness. Every headline he creates pulls focus from his rivals and keeps his movement energized. We still want the Epstein files released. Donald Trump is overseas right now doing his tour of Asia. He should be trying to get the government reopened. Now, I don't know how long this strategy is going to work for him. I am predicting a Democratic wipeout of midterms, right? Democrats are going to, the blue wave is coming. As long as we stay in this shutdown mode, folks are going to remember who was the president during this time. Now, one thing is clear. No other political figure has ever controlled the media narrative the way Trump does. And that part is truly sad. It is truly sad. But he's just one of those folks. Let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show. Of course, onfirebroadcasting.com. Trump refuses to rule out a third term. He's taking MRIs. Why is he having so many MRIs? That's not normal right there. Some of the things that Trump supporters say, I interact with some of them online, and some Trump supporters have torn down half of their house because Trump did that with the White House. They're truly in a cult. You remember, last year when they were wearing those little patches over their ears like he was. It is something to see. And Trump's getting MRIs, and I think some of his supporters, they want to get MRIs too. It's crazy. You're tuned into the Diamond K Show, your home for real talk, real news, and real perspective. I break down politics, news, culture, entertainment, and stories that shape America every Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. on firebroadcasting.com or anywhere you get your podcasts. You can turn your weekends up too. The On Fire Mix Show drops Saturdays, 6 p.m. with the hottest club and hip hop mixes. Then don't miss the best of the Diamond K Show Sundays at 6 p.m. with a full recap of the week's top stories. Subscribe now, youtube.com/DJ Diamond K. Become part of the movement On Fire Broadcasting, where independent voices ignite. Now, there have been calls for Obama to step back into the spotlight, and I've been seeing social media lighting up over the last, 24 hours or so. Former Congressman Joe Walsh, the Republican turned anti-Trump commentator, posted something that has both parties buzzing. He wrote this: "At this point, Barack Obama should come out and publicly say he'd love to be president again, and he hasn't ruled out running for a third term. I'm serious. My fellow Democrats either fight or go home," the former congressman says. Now, of course, we talked about it with Trump. Obama can't run again. The 22nd Amendment makes sure of that. But Walsh's post wasn't really about the legality. It was about the passion. He's challenging Democrats to rediscover that Obama era energy and to fight with conviction instead of fear. Democrats right now are fearful, and it's crazy, and it's upsetting, and it's super frustrating. But the comments from the former Congressman Joe Walsh must have hit a nerve. Millions of shares, thousands of debates, and plenty of speculation about whether Obama should take a louder role heading into 2026. Also seeing in some of these discussions that Michelle Obama should run. She said a number of times that she doesn't plan to, but you never know. Things always change. Now, whether or not President Obama steps back in, his influence has not faded. His voice still commands respect, and nostalgia. These are two rare things in modern politics. Maybe Walsh has a point. Democrats could use some fight, but politics, like sports, reward whoever wants it more. And I think that is a great question. Who wants it more? Do Democrats want it more than Republicans? I don't know what it is about Democrats that just make them I don't know, they just kind of sit on the sidelines. They just watch the cars go past, and sometimes they just need a kick, a swift kick in the rear to get things going. So whether it's Joe Walsh edging them on, or whether it is President Obama, and you know, he can be too cool for school sometimes. President Obama can be too cool for school. I just wish that Democrats would understand the moment that we're in and how important it is for them to be focused and to be fearless. We are in a moment right now. We are in a moment when you have Donald Trump making comments like he's been making. It's necessary for the opposition to step up. So Trump, speaking to reporters when he was aboard Air Force One, he's on his way to Japan, and he says he's not ruling out the potential of running in 2028. He said, "I am not ruling it out. You'll have to tell me." The comment immediately drew headlines and renewed debate over whether the twice elected president could legally pursue another term under the 22nd Amendment. And so he can't, but it doesn't even matter because he is just giving content. Now, he is the dominant figure in the Republican Party, but the Republican Party at this point should be trying to make a pivot. Trump is a lame duck. He's a lame duck. Now, Trump, who, as I said, is a dominant figure in the Republican Party, also spoke optimistically about the GOP's future bench. He mentioned J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio as very good potential candidates for 2028, but his refusal to close the door on his own ambitions suggests that Trump sees himself as the central figure in the party. This is a mistake. But listen, I'm not trying to give Republicans advice. I'm not here to help you guys out. But we talk a little bit about the Constitution. We're talking about Barack Obama and his potential to just jump back just jump back in the fight. Of course, he can't become president again, but Trump's talking about it, and Democrats should meet them where they are, right? Legal scholars argue that any attempt by Trump to seek a third term would trigger immediate constitutional challenges and likely be struck down by the courts. There would be folks suing instantly. Nonetheless, Trump's latest remarks paired with recent public comments about folks Steve Bannon has said things that lead and point in this direction. It just reflects a growing theme among some that are in Trump's orbit, who are testing rhetoric and testing the boundaries of presidential eligibility. But at the end of the day, the Constitution is clear on this. Now, some observers say that the comments may be as much about keeping supporters energized more than it's about any serious legal maneuver. Now, adding to this swirl of attention, we talked about it, Trump disclosed that he recently underwent an MRI scan at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, calling the results perfect. Now, one thing that's interesting is his doctor released 5 sentences saying that everything was fine in his visit to the hospital, not mentioning anything about an MRI. Trump volunteers his information. Now, he did not specify what part of his body was scanned or why the procedure was conducted, but this is leading to more speculation about his health. White House officials confirmed the visit, did not release details, saying only that the president underwent a routine medical evaluation. How many times is he going to the hospital? The health of Trump has been a frequent conversation as he approaches his 80th birthday next year. Though his team insists that he's in excellent condition, his ankles and his hands tell a different story. Now, Trump's combination of bravado, humor, and ambiguity keeps him at the center of the political conversation. It's a tactic that he's used effectively for nearly 10 years. By hinting at both confidence in his potential successors and openness for another campaign, Trump's positioning himself as the ultimate power broker within the GOP, even though he's a lame duck. Even as the 2028 race remains years away, the former reality show star, his remarks signal that he plans to continue shaping the direction of the party, either as a candidate, which is not going to happen, or as a kingmaker, which is more likely. Trump's comments come at a time when the Republican Party is balancing loyalty to his leadership with preparation for a post-Trump era. Now, his dominance in the polls and control of the party's narrative, it overshadows other Republican voices. But what he really should focus on is trying to get the government reopened. He's supposed to be the deal maker. Well, make some deals. Make some deals, because the people are feeling real pain. And if this shutdown continues, there's going to be a lot more of that. Make sure you follow me for political analysis, daily news, and entertainment commentary on stories that are shaping America. You can listen in on firebroadcasting.com. Make sure you follow me on youtube.com/DJ Diamond K. Of course, need to get in touch with me, DJDiamondK@gmail.com. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow.